Good morning, you badass motherfuckers. It's the All on Me, the morning drinking show. I'm your host, Greg. Get back on this motherfucker. Once again, we getting back on here, aren't we? Oh, shit. Everybody have a good Christmas, good holidays. Someone told me happy holidays yesterday. I was like, you know what? Let's stop that shit. let's get to the happy new year. Happy New Year, motherfuckers. 2023. Here it comes. We down to the last couple days, man. How many of you guys just fucking digging deep, ready to just sprint it out? How many of you guys just like stretching out, saying, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do it this year. New year, new me. Here we go. New year, new me 23. I don't know. If you didn't do it this year, I seen all you guys probably seen this meme pop up, right? Who's seen the meme pop up with Thor, right? Thor. Where it's like, here's what I wanted to be in 22, but here's where I was, where he's like the fat version, where he gets all fat and nasty. Ay, man. I wish you guys knew how that mentally, posting that shit, you think it's humor, and it's funny, right? It's funny. But it's also very self-deprecating to the soul, right? That you let yourself down. You let yourself down because you knew that you didn't have it in you, right? You didn't have it in you to change up. God. But the thing is, you do have it in you. You just didn't have it in you this year. Why? What do you need to switch up today to actually produce the results that you desire? I'm coming to you live from up here at the ranch, Ojo Caliente, Carson National Forest. I'm out here in the wild. We're talking about warrior mindsets, right? Not all of us think we're warriors, but what is a warrior, right? Is it someone that just charges into battle, right? Taking on the enemy, the sword or AR-15, right? What's a true warrior mindset, right? To me, a true warrior is someone that never gives the fuck up. No matter what it is that you're doing, right? You just don't give up, right? Sure, we all get knocked down, but a true warrior gets up, dusts herself off, and continues moving forward in a positive direction. Some of us, right, have that warrior spirit, have that warrior mindset, but we've lost it, right? We feel that the battles are done. The battles are in the past, right? You've chalked up the wins in yesteryear. You ain't got to worry about this year or next year because you're still polishing up all the medals and all the trophies and all the bullshit from yesteryear. And it's like, that shit's gone. That shit's gone. Who you are today is who you are, not who you used to be, right? You could be a world champ back in the day. You could have been a freaking Medal of Honor recipient, war hero, right? National champion, high school champion, whatever type of championship. And yet, good for you. But why have you quit? Why have you stopped striving and really trying to be your best each and every day? Because you should bring that experience into this moment, into this life, right? So that you can continue to be an example to those that have their eyes on you, especially if you're someone that has, right, achieved greatness in your life or what you would define as something great. If you have accomplished some great things in your life, people are looking to you still saying, man, this motherfucker was a badass. What happened? What happened? Oh, you got old. That's bullshit. Oh, you got married. That's bullshit. Oh, you had kids. That's bullshit. Oh, wait, you got health issues. Is it health issues? That's bullshit. Wait, you got addiction issues? That's why you got addiction issues. That's it. Oh, wait, you got a disability? Is that reason why you're not warrior no more? Come on now. You know you're fucking with yourself. You know you're telling yourself all them lies. And it's hard. It's hard to fucking rekindle the fire that once was. But trust me, we all got a little ember in us. right? The fire never completely goes out because you know what you were capable of doing. And you know that you still have visions of seeing yourself in action, right? Not just sitting on the couch watching other motherfuckers work, watching other people accomplish. You still see yourself in action, whether it's in the past or the present or even in the future. So that tells me you got a little ember in you. There's just a little bit of ember. And this motherfucker's trying to talk all that shit, blow on that ember, kind of reignite the fire in you motherfuckers to say, look, real warriors, we don't give up. We don't stop. We don't quit. Right? If you get tired, right, you get injured, you get bruised, you can take a timeout. But some of you guys have been on an extended timeout from life. And you think it's okay, right? And it is. It's your life, right? This life happens so quick, man. It's so quick. We think we got time. We think we're going to last forever. But the truth is, no one knows, right? 186,000 people die every day worldwide. Every day. 8,600 in the U.S. Number one killer in the U.S. is still heart disease, not COVID. Number two is cancer. Both of those are very much attributed to our nutrition and our minds, really. And we've lost the sense of what it is to really value ourselves, discipline ourselves, parent ourselves. Why? Because we're an adult. We're an adult. Ain't nobody can tell you what to do, right? Because you are an adult now. You have your independence card. You get to do whatever you want to do, eat whatever you want to eat, drink whatever you want to drink, go wherever you want to go. But you know you're walking around this world and you feeling less than your best. You feeling miserable, right? You're feeling depressed. You're feeling anxious. And it's time to switch up, folks. It's time to switch up. Enough's enough, right? When are you going to actually say, this is the day? Not next year, today. We still got big time revelry, big time abundance coming up in just a couple of days, right? Most of you wiped yourselves out Thanksgiving. Most of you wiped yourselves out again for Christmas. No discipline, overindulging. And we got one more, man, one more peak of overindulgence, right? To see if you can slay the dragon, right? To slay that dragon of popularity, of conformity to what? Social norms, overindulgence, drinking, partying, revelry. What are you really celebrating for these? How many of you guys are just worn the fuck out from all the holidays? The holidays. How many of you guys is worn the fuck out? You know, I'll tell you my routine. This last couple months, I mean, it's really just my everyday routine. It's self-care. It's going across the bottom of this now. Anytime you see me up here at the ranch, I can guarantee you this much. I begin in that hot water. I begin in the cold water because that's self-care. I'm not just going to go soak in hot tubs and drink cocktails and get fucking tipsy. I'm going because that natural minerals, it's medicine, right? It's true medicine. There's a sacredness to the water, whether it's the hot or the cold, and it's the extremes. And I seen it again yesterday. I took my kids to the hot springs. We had an amazing time, right? My son followed me into the river at night. It's cold. It's probably like 20 degrees. Even the workers there freaking out on us because they know that I'm there enough. They're like, damn, you getting back in the river? Hell yeah. Went twice last night. And it ain't just like tippy toe in. It's full submersion, sitting there just laying on my back like if it's a sunny, hot day. But it's not. It's cold. It's freezing cold. It's more than freezing cold. And again, too many of you guys get psyched out because what? It's a physical, right? The physical. The body's saying, that's cold. I don't want to be in there. The body says it's cold. And it's like, okay, I get it. It's supposed to be cold. But there's something that happens when you get beyond the physical. you get to the mental. And some of y'all need to just really start to get into the mental state of being, this warrior fucking mindset. Hard to kill, right? Ain't gonna quit no matter how tough it gets. I had a fucking warrior brother hit me up yesterday. He's down and out. He's down and fucking out, man. Just lost his jobs, got fucking responsibilities galore, bank accounts in the red, and he's calling me up saying, dude, shitty year, shitty life, shitty me, wah, wah, wah. And guess what? I just fucking locked and loaded. Fucking battle rattle, motherfucker. Compression. Right? Because that's when the true test is, when we got our back against the wall. Right? Because here's a guy, a lot of you guys want to get kind of tummy rubbed, bottom patted. It's okay. It's not your fault. Because he was going there. Oh, the people I worked with, they screwed me, this, that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, come on, man. Regardless of the circumstance, right? You get to choose if you're a victim, right? Or you're a victor. And here's the thing, when you're bottom, when you're rock fucking bottom, been there, done that plenty of times, not just one, plenty of times. When you rock bottom, guess what? There's only one way from the bottom, and it's up. And it's a good opportunity, right, for you to truly see what you're made of when your back's up against the wall. And a lot of us, it takes that. It takes that. We some stubborn sons of bitches, right? Because we don't want to fucking do it. We don't want to just say, you know what, I got some good stability going. Let me get some momentum. Let me build a fire. Let me get my life happening right now. No, most of us, we got to hit rock bottom. You think about someone you know that gets cancer, gets the cancer diagnosis, and they turn their lives around because it's like, fuck, now death is a reality. Something seriously is wrong with my health, a serious health issue. Now you got to wake the fuck up and be like, holy shit, I'm going to change my nutrition. I'm going to change my exercise. And we let it get to that, right? Cancer, number 2 killer in the US. Heart disease, number 1. Not COVID, not the flu, right? And I know way too many people that are like that. And yes, I have empathy. Yes, I have compassion for this brother that's calling me up, because that takes a warrior even to ask for help. Because even though he was kind of hemming and hawing about how bad shit is, I said, man, I get it. I've been there. But there's only one direction from the bottom, man, and it's up. And this is the journey, right? We all want to be at the fucking, on the podium. We all want to be on the top of the mountain, right? Kobe Bryant says it best, the dream is the struggle, motherfuckers. The struggle is the dream. But it's hard to see it like that, because the struggle and the suffering can be so fucking daunting, especially if we ain't got a plan, especially if we don't got a routine to keep our cup full, to take care of what parts of our body, our mental, our emotional, our spiritual, and our physical health. Those 4 parts of who you are, you got to take care of each and every day. You can't just wake up like it's an accident. You can't just hope that shit's going to get better. You got to have intention, right? If you're struggling with some mental shit, right, some depression, some anxiety, get some fucking help. This dude called me up, right? And that's better than fucking sitting there having thoughts of fucking suicide, depression, right? Wanting to give the fuck up. I did a buddy check later in the afternoon, and that's what I do, right? I gave him a lot of compression. Battle rattle, man. Let's go, motherfucker. Let's go. I'm not going to let you be a sucker-ass motherfucker licking your wounds. I'm not going to pat your tummy and rub your bottom. I'm going to tell you, let's go, motherfucker. Get off your ass. Get your shit together. Come up with a plan. Figure out what the fuck you want to do in life. What is your true desires, right? Your issues are not money issues. Your issue is having a fucking purpose and sticking to it. And that's true with so many people. We don't have a purpose. That's why it's easy to go to the vices. That's why it's easy to overindulge, because you ain't got purpose no more. The victories is in the past. The vitality is in the past. The energy and the stamina and the endurance is all in the past. That's bullshit. You're the best version that you've ever been right now, whether you look it, feel it, any of that, right? Everything that you have ever experienced in your life equates to what you are today, who you are today. And most of us don't take time to celebrate all the shit we've been through, because that's a hell of a fucking ride. I was sitting there in them hot springs last night, and this affluent woman was sitting there bragging, right? Just openly bragging about her story. It sounded like she came from a family of wealth, but it was interesting how we brag. She's inherited the wealth, but the only reason why she was telling this story, and it relates to a major company in this country, but she was telling her origin story about how her ancestors were like near royalty, and then they lost it all, right? If they had stayed in I've lost it all mentality, she wouldn't be telling the story, right? You guys get that, right? If the lady said, hey, the ancestors were royalty, nobility, had all the fucking riches and wealth, but they lost it all, she won't still be telling that story. Same with you. That's why you're not telling your stories, because you're stuck in the lost it all. You lost your dignity. You lost your energy. You lost your drive. You lost your hunger. You lost your love. You lost your zeal for life. That's why you're not telling your story, because you haven't re-engaged to do what? The comeback. The comeback, motherfuckers. The comeback is always greater than the setback. But you got to find that warrior mindset to get re-engaged in life. So she was over there bragging, because guess what? She wanted to get to the point in the story of the comeback. And sure enough, they came back. It wasn't her that came back, but she was bragging about all the family members that had done everything they did. And I'm sitting there because she's just so glowing, so happy to be talking about all her wealth and all her success, which is not really her wealth and success. She's talking about family members that were successful, but she has reaped the benefit. And a lot of us could be envious of that shit. But I'm sitting there, and I'm pretty sure there was this Persian family. They were definitely Middle Eastern. I think they were Persian. And the lady kind of said, well, unfortunately, we don't come from anything like that. That's very impressive. So what the lady, all her bragging did was, it really made these people feel like shit. This motherfucker couldn't just let that hang, because I could tell that they felt like shit. They were like, our heritage is riding on camels in the desert. This lady's talking about wealth upon wealth upon wealth, generational wealth. And I said, you know what? But don't minimize your existence, because I guarantee you what your family's been through, this woman couldn't go through. And she was like, oh, what the fuck? Why are you taking the spotlight off me? And we do that, right? When we actually chalk up a win, or our team, that's even worse, right? It's worse when it's not even your personal win. When your team wins, you got to brag to everybody. You got to brag, right? You got to brag when your team wins. That's not your team. That's what this lady was doing, even though she was getting to reap financial benefit from the lineage. But most of you motherfuckers gonna brag about shit that ain't even yours. My team won. I'm gonna brag about it. It's not your team. You ain't the boss. You don't write the checks. You don't fly in a private jet, do you? But we want to brag about our wins. That's not our wins, because we're afraid of our own story. Because what? We're stuck in the place of come up and fall down, and we ain't got back up. Why? Can you answer the question why? Why have you given up on life? Why have you taken an extended time out in this thing called life? You think you got time? You think you're better off dead? You think you can't make a difference in this world? You think you're not as good as them or her or him or she or this? That's all bullshit. Because here's the truth, folks. No one knows who they are. Yeah, you know what your ID says. Yeah, you know what your little name badge says at work. But you don't know what you could become if you went all in on yourself. Did you hear me? You do not know what you could become, your fullest potential. You could be the greatest fill in the blank to ever walk this earth. But what? Doubt, fear, limiting beliefs, relationships, family members, friends, vices like alcohol, drinking, and overeating is holding you back from being your best self, from truly becoming the highest potential that you could possibly be. And you don't know what it is that you could be, because there is not a person on this earth that don't like a comeback story. Rags to riches, folks. Rags to riches, right? David versus Goliath type shit, right? The underdog coming back, right? From the brink of defeat, coming back with the fury to set the world on fire with something that's so special, so unique inside of you. And that's why I keep getting on this motherfucker, because I believe in you. I see you, and I know you got something really special inside of you that you're hiding, that you're afraid of, that you doubt. You doubt if you could truly become what you think you could be. And it's going to take a lot for you to develop that skill. It doesn't just come instant, but there is something that's been ticking around in your brain for years upon years upon years. And it's not just yesteryear shit. There's something about future. There's something about now that you know you could start doing something, right? Listening to some positive affirmations, writing some thoughts down, writing down the desires of your heart, right? Without fear of guilt, shame, embarrassment. Just truly say, what do you desire, right? And it was interesting because as I was sitting in that hot tub and I kind of shut the lady down, bragging about all her wealth and riches that she didn't earn, and she was making other people feel insecure, or at least her story, is very unrelatable to the average person. This family expressed, they kind of turned it into a joke about, their heritage was riding on camels. But I kind of intervened in there and I said, regardless of the past, regardless of what your family's been through or your family's been through or my family, the only thing that matters is today. It's right now. And what are you doing with it? Right? Sure, you can look back and say, wow, grandpa did this, grandpa did that. I have a hell of a fucking legacy. I got some incredible, really incredible legacy. Some people that have made a huge contribution to this country and this world in my family. An incredible heritage. But does that really mean anything right here, right now? I guess it depends on if I choose to just say, well, I'm glad they did it, but look at my life and just be depressed, right? Feeling unaccomplished, feeling like, wow, well, they did shit. And I know I'm never going to be able to do anything because what? I fucked up, or I gave up, or I don't know what to do, or I don't know how to do it, right? And it's like, what good does any of that doubt, right, that goes through your head, what good does it do for you? How does it serve you? Doubting yourself, right? Being afraid of every fucking big idea you've ever had. What good is it, right? Have you ever wanted to see how far you could truly go to turn your shit around, turn your life around, right? Switch up, right? Just truly go all in. And again, sometimes we do need these starting points. January 1st, new year, new me. But most of us, we blow out. I can't tell you, when I started this show, January 1st of this year, it feels like, God, man, it feels like years ago. January 1st, 22, right? I came out fucking like a fire, man, coming out. Just talking all that shit, freaking people out because they're like, holy shit, what the fuck? Why is this guy talking like this? How long is this going to last? And I proved something to myself by showing up every single day from January 1st to July 22nd, right? Sharing my thoughts, sharing my experience. And again, chalking up wins every single day. And I didn't know what it would become. I didn't know who I would reach. I didn't know who would run away. I didn't know who would fucking block me. I didn't know who would shame me and who would try to edit me, right? But I knew I had a message. And I knew I didn't give a fuck what anybody thought about it because it's my message. And that's so important. How many of you guys are really going to leave something behind? If you were to die this week, today, what do you leave behind? Do you have a message, right? Do you leave a bunch of messes, or do you have a message for other people to learn and grow and be challenged by, right? And that's so important because your experiences matter. And so many of us, we get embarrassed, we get ashamed, right? We stay stuck to other people, right? That was another experience I see every time I go to the hot springs, man. When you get these couples out there trying to manage their relationship, attached at the hips, you know, me and my kids show up there and they already know the drill. Like, we don't just pool hop together. It's like we all go really 3 different directions. And, you know, there's times where we converge and meet up just organically, and that's fun. I remember I was in the pool last night, and the pool's cooler than the hot springs. It's not even close to what the river is, probably 70. And I seen this couple get out of one of the hot springs, and the girlfriend or wife, she goes over to the steps and she's already like getting in the pool, going down the steps. And the dude, pretty big guy, man, looks like a tough dude. He gets out of the hot spring and he dips his hand in, right? Doesn't even go by the steps. He dips his hand in, right? And he goes, nope. He shakes it off. It's too cold for him. And he looks, when he shakes it off, he's looking at his girlfriend. He puts his hand in and he does the fucking shake. And she's like, what? And I see this shit happen all the time, right? She wants to get in that cold water, but he touches it. It intimidates him. It's uncomfortable, and he shakes it off. So guess what? She didn't get in. She had to go back over there. She's like, you could see her like, what's up? How come you don't want to go? What's wrong? Why don't you want to, you know? You guys know this shit. And this is what holds people back. It's called enmeshment. It's actually a toxic behavior that's a part of relationships. Because we think that in a relationship, we have to not be ourselves anymore. We have to do what the other person wants all the time. That's unhealthy. That's not a secure relationship, right? There has to be a sense of independence, even with partnership, to where people can still fully be themselves, right? And that doesn't mean like if you got some promiscuous type shit going on, like that's not it. But something as very simple as like, if I'm not getting in the cold water, don't you get in the cold water because we're together and you better get back over here. It's like, this poor woman was like, what the fuck? And I see it go both ways all the time, right? When something's uncomfortable for one person, they gotta go somewhere else because this person's not comfortable. And if they're not sitting right next to each other, then why did we come here in the first place if we're not going to spend time together? And it's like, the hot springs is different, man. It's not about socializing, right? Even though people do socialize, they're pretty good about monitoring conversations. They want it down to a whisper. So really it's mindfulness. It really is about checking in. And what I need is probably not what, anybody else needs, right? Any of you listening, if we were to go to hot springs together, I could guarantee you what I need is not what you need, because your body's different. Your comfortability is different. But however, I would challenge you, right? If you were too scared to get or uncomfortable getting the hot water or uncomfortable getting the cold water, I'd at least try and persuade you to give yourself a shot, right? To at least try something new and see what happens, right? Because anytime you try something new, which has been the mantra of 22, try something new every day, every week, every month. Every time you do something new, right, it changes your whole entire reality. Do you guys realize that? You don't. I know you don't. Because it's hard to imagine that just doing something new, like going to a new grocery store, going to a new restaurant, right? Trying a new type of cooking, right? Looking up plant-based something, right? Vegan something, right? Just trying a new recipe. It changes your reality because you have now experienced something that is outside of the norm. And again, our ego, right? Our mind wants to keep us feeling like we're competent. And that's why most people have such a hard time changing up. And that's why most of you will start a resolution, but you won't see it through to the end, right? Back to that Thor meme that we're all seeing right now, where it has him fucking ripped and saying, this is how I wanted to end 22. And then it has him as the fat motherfucker, but this is how I did. When in reality, right, most of you are finishing how you started, and maybe even worse, depending on how mentally mind fucked you've been this year in 22. Whether it's been continuation of pandemic, inflation, prices going through the roof, right? And just all the other stressors of this world, wars in foreign lands, right? Elections, all the fucking bullshit, man. All bullshit. All stuff that does not truly impact your life on a direct basis. But yet we give it weight. We allow ourselves to be emotionally overwhelmed by things we have very little control over. The one thing that you can change today is what? Your mindset, your attitude. By opening yourself up to new possibilities. And you still got a few more days, right? I'm hitting it hard right now, finishing out this year strong, because my whole life, as a student athlete, as an active person, I've always said the way you finish is how you start the next chapter, the next day. So how you finish this year is how you're going to start the next year. You can't just fucking have your fucking ass drugged through the dirt, through the holidays, into New Year's Eve, and then be like, oh, but I'm going to fucking blast off come January 1st. That's bullshit. Newton's law. A body in motion stays in motion. If you're not in motion right now, other than drinking and eating, this is not the kind of motion that you want to stay in. This is not the kind of motion you want to stay in, right? But it is true. The way you finish is how you start. And there's still a little bit more time for you guys to receive this message and to start applying some activity to your life. If you truly want to be a healthier version of yourself in 23, right? Now's the time. You got to do it now. Start doing the exercises that you want to start doing next year. Don't say, oh, well, I want to start running, 3 miles a day in 23. No one's going to start running 3 miles on the first time. Why don't you get out there and fucking run a half a mile today and walk 2.5? Right? Can we be like that? Can we be reasonable with ourselves instead of trying to overwhelm ourselves, set ourselves up for failure? Right? Just like a little baby, you got to crawl before you can walk. You got to walk before you can run. Right? And you got to, before you can blast off, you have to have a lot of built up energy so that you can truly create the velocity you need to blow through some of the fucking limiting beliefs you got, some of the barriers in your life. But now is when you start that. So whatever you would like to do, you want to start eating healthier, you cut one meal today, switch it up. One meal today, eat a healthy meal. One meal tomorrow, eat another healthy meal. And another, and then another. And then maybe on January 1st, you do 2 healthy meals, right? And then by maybe February 1st, you're doing 3 healthy fucking meals, right? If you're someone that says, well, I want to work out 7 days a week, that's bullshit. I don't work out 7 days a week. If you're not working out any days a week, working out 7 days a week, chances are, unless you're David fucking Goggins, you're going to blow the fuck out. So maybe it's, if you're working out 0 times right now, maybe you work out twice, right, in the next 4 days. That's half. It's got to be what, 30 minutes? Can you do 30 minutes of cardio, right? If you're wanting to be more active in 23, you got to do it now, because this is how you finish this year, is how you will start next year. And if you want to start cold, guess what? You ain't going to go very far. But prove me wrong, folks. Prove me wrong, right? Capture the fact that you're eating fucking overindulgent, right? I would love for you to prove me wrong. There would be nothing to bring me more joy and happiness, right, than you being someone to say, you know what, fuck this motherfucker. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I'm going to party. I'm going to fucking tear it up until the 31st, and come January 1st, new year, new me, I'm going to change up, and I'm going to just set the world on fire. I'm going to fucking just destroy fucking health goals, fitness goals. Prove me wrong. Don't prove me wrong January 1st. Don't prove me wrong January 31st. Prove me wrong June 1st. 6 months into the year, that you still staying after it, that you still maintaining your health, your nutrition, goals that you are setting out to do. But it starts right now. That's my piece of advice to you guys. On this beautiful cloudy day, should be snowing. I'm praying for the snow. Will you guys send some snow? If you're somewhere where it's snowing, send some snow up here. I think they're getting snow in the mountains, so that's kind of all that matters. But I love it when the white stuff's on the ground. I know that there's at least storms in the forecast here in northern New Mexico, and we need it. We need it bad. But I hope you guys will actually take some time to reflect, right? The things that you would like to do in 23, you need to start implementing little bits over the next few days, right? Because if you do that, you're going to set yourself up for a greater chance of success, right? And it really comes down to why. Why do you want to change up your health? Why do you want to change up your nutrition? Why do you want to change up your fitness? Why do you want to change up your finances, right? Why? Because if you don't really know your why, then you're wasting your time. It's not going to last. Motivation, right? This message is only going to last so long. It's got a time limit, right? It takes true discipline, desire, right? And a pulling of your fucking heart to say, hey, why do I want to switch up in 23? And hopefully it has to do something about the fact that you matter and people are counting on you and you're ready to take on the challenges, right? To truly prove to yourself that you can actually elevate who you are in 23. And you can make a difference not only to yourself, but to those that you say you love. How can you say you love people, that you want to be there for people, that you're willing to serve people, but you're living a life that's really like, it's not impressive? They actually look at you and say, this person is not healthy. This person is not doing good, right? If you truly love people, you would make bigger sacrifices to improve your health, your wellness, right? All the below, all this shit going across this board right now. Your mind, your emotion, your spiritual, and your physical health. Those 4 things you have total control over. You know all the fucking little excuses, right, that you make, right? I was talking to a guy yesterday. He's studying health. He's studying, he's basically becoming a doctor, neuroscientist. And we started talking about my nutrition, plant-based whole food. And I was talking about Forks Over Knives, right? If you guys want some documentaries, Forks Over Knives, The Game Changers. And we were talking about how, what is it about people psychologically that they don't want to do this? I talked about, heart disease is still the #1 killer. And he started, because he's into the medical practice. He started talking about all the anomalies, right? Well, but there is a certain segment of the population that, because of their body and genetic construct, blah, 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 that they actually, have this health issue that would restrict them from actually becoming more healthier. And that's what we all do, right? We all start saying all these bullshit statistics that we don't even know what the fuck it means. But then we try and make it sound like it applies to us, and it gets us off the hook from holding ourselves to a higher level of accountability. And I kept telling him that, man, like, stop, dude, stop. I get it. I get that there's always going to be a small segment, but why do we allow for the masses to use that as the reason to not change, as the reason to not switch things up? Because that is not the solution to what the problem is. And in this country, I believe it. I haven't found the data, but I believe that we are at an all-time high of having an eating disorder in this country, because stress is at an all-time high. And most of us, when we are stressed, we turn to vices, unhealthy habits. There are some, I think I just saw a snowflake. There are some of us, and I have been guilty, where I have turned to healthy habits to relieve stress. Wow, that's actually a pretty cool fucking thing. Because I have stress too, motherfuckers. I know you got stress. I got stress. We all got stress. But how many of you turn to vices like drinking, drugs, and overindulging on the food, eating unhealthy food, right? And the other population says, I got stress. I'm going to do what? I'm going to do some meditation. I'm going to do some journaling. I'm going to do some hiking. I'm going to do some biking. I'm going to do some lifting. I'm going to do some yoga, right? To relieve my stress. We all got stress. But how do you deal with it? How do you manage your stress, right? Are you doing negative activities that are causing you even more harm? Or are you doing positive things that are actually setting you free and helping you to manage even future instances of stress, where the stress comes, but it doesn't take you out. It doesn't wipe you out. It doesn't leave you feeling fucking empty, right? And having to recover day after day. YOLO. That's what one of the dudes in the pool said, because he heard me, all we got is today. And he jumped on that bandwagon. Yeah, man, that's why I live the way I do. YOLO. I was like, nah, man, nah. That's not what I'm saying, right? Because it is true, right? What's not true is you do not only live once. You live every day. And I don't want to spend every one of my days recovering from the bullshit I did yesterday. I want to be building fire, momentum, strength, focus, intentions that lead me to new goals, lead me to new places, take me to new levels. Because Tony Robbins said it best. You want to change your life, you got to change your standard. And if your standard is way down here, that's where you're at. But it's not until you elevate your standard, that is when you start to realize the change in your life. And it takes discipline to change standards, because everything's going to want to pull you back. And the thing that wants to pull you back the most isn't always those that are around you. It's right here. It's this visitor. It's this guest that you got in your head that says, whoa, why we want to change shit up? I thought we were fucking just fine being miserable motherfuckers, living our worst life, just always blaming everybody for everything, hemming and hawing all day and all night. Why would we want to change up? Why would we want to feel better, right? Have more energy, have more vitality, start chalking up wins. I wish you guys the best. I hope you'll take this message to heart. I hope you'll start planting the seeds of success today, motherfuckers, because you know the drill. Results kill excuses. It's all on me. Greg's out.